Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to this live show where I'm going to be talking about the main energy and time management shift that I've made in my life and that has truly been a game changer for me as a working mom. So, September, this is being recorded in September, which is our Career and Family Life Integration Month in the Mom BA program. This is a personal and leadership development and growth program for STEM and STEAM moms. And we follow a weekly theme every month on which we make progress. So, for those of you who have listened to a couple of these recordings, you know that the foundation of my plan as a working mom is a long-term vision, right? I have this long-term 25-year vision where I've mapped out at a high level what is really important to me in every single aspect of my life, from my mindset to my relationships to my health to my finances, my parenting. I have a few more, but it's like the big picture puzzle of what really matters to me in my life. Like, think of, if I, in 25 years, when my kids look back on how they lived with me, these are the key things that I hope that we will be able to say together as a family. And that requires daily intentionality, right? So that's the foundation. I also have a number of calendar tools that I use. I've covered a few in the month of September and the recordings. But there's one key concept that really changed everything for me. And I've done numerous corporate and conference workshops on this year. And I want to share this finding with you. And it's the concept of seasons. There are many types of seasons in life. There are the natural seasons, right? That we think of fall and winter and spring and summer. But also, let's say in the business world, there are quarters and financial quarters through which financial results are measured, right? And goals are set. And I started off with that type of framework in the beginning when I was trying to manage my schedule as an entrepreneur and as a mom. However, I find that this model didn't quite suit being a woman, being a mom, and I've had to make some adjustments. So there are two types of seasons I'm going to talk about today. There are five-year seasons that fall into my long-term vision, and they all have a specific theme. There's a season where my kids are very young and they need a specific type of attention. There's a season where they will be teenagers, right? And there's a seasons where they will grow up and leave the nest and so on and so forth. And so these seasons help me set priorities for my life. Then there are also the seasons within a year. So instead of using quarters like we do in financial planning, and there's a method called the 12-week year that I like to follow with participants in my program, I've actually designed two types of seasons because I found that the 12-week year was pretty rigid and restrictive, and it didn't suit my vacations. It didn't suit seasons when business was slowing down, like in December. So I took a step back and I realized, well, what if I honored the less productive seasons of my life and gave myself more breathing room versus always being in goal crushing mode? And I actually designed 5 seasons in my year. So I have 3 productive seasons and 2 slow seasons, right? And that has been a huge game changer for me and for my clients. So during my productive seasons, let's say from September to November, and then from January to March and April to June, yes, those are right. Those are my more productive seasons and where I will use the 12-week year template. And of course, this works best when your kids are a little bit older, when you are on maternity leave, for example. It's really a season where you have to surrender more to the chaos of having really young kids, right? And you have to adjust to their schedules. So I'm speaking for those who have slightly older kids where you can resume more normal seasons of productivity. And older, that depends. I mean, that depends for you, for the temperament of your child, what you have in terms of childcare, what your job situation is like. So this has been an absolute game changer for me because when I do my yearly planning, one of the first things I do is map out my seasons. Will I have a productive season, or will I have a season where I step back and I'm more focused on maybe rest, planning, surrendering? And I found that this has helped me find the most harmony in my life, right? And I recommend you do the same. If you are a woman, if you have children, then trying to follow this go, 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 do, execute all the time can prove to be extremely exhausting. But if you build in seasons throughout your year and you set out how to take a breath, take a step back from everything, give yourself less constraints for success, you're really going to experience life differently. Now, the 5-year seasons in my 25-year vision framework, the way I look at it is it helps me spread out my goals over a longer period of time. I'm a person who loves achieving, who loves setting goals, who likes checking things off my list, but I'm impatient too. And when I take into account that there are going to be hopefully different seasons in my life where my kids will not demand the same levels of care or the same types of care, certain projects are better suited for other seasons of life, whereas others um, for childhood, right? And so that's how these two types of cyclicality, these two types of seasons have really made a huge impact on how I approach life. I get inspired by natural seasons. There are also other cycles to look at that we like to discuss that you can layer. There's more and more being published on the topic, but there's the seasons of the menstrual cycle that you can learn a lot from. And many of my clients, one of their hopes is to align their workflows more with when, let's say, they look more inward or they're more extroverted because it aligns better with their cycles. That is typically initially met with some skepticism. I won't lie, in the beginning I was like, how do you do that in a productive workforce? But if you have patience and vision and intention and you value yourself like that, then you will find small ways that you can start integrating some principles, right? There are also seasons of grief, of change, of specific challenges where you might find yourself being more reactive, more absorbed by a specific situation in your life. And it's as you mature, I think we recognize those and we can take a step back and have some perspective, right? So, and then there are the beautiful seasons of growth and of harmony where everything seems to align to some extent, and you're finding that work is going well and personal life is going well and other pillars and your health is going well and your relationship is going well. And I think those are some of the most blessed moments in our lives where many of our pillars can come together in harmony. However, I find that overall it can be challenging to have everything all at once all the time. And so the concept of seasons can help you prioritize your activities, can help you spread your goals out over time, can help you manage your energy, right? And enjoy life more and know that in certain seasons you're really going to feel fulfilled in one aspect or multiple aspect. That's the goal. And other seasons lend themselves better to being fulfilled in other aspects of life. And that's how I see the big picture harmony coming together when you're able to recognize your 5-year seasons, your 5 seasons within the year, your productive and your slow down seasons, where you can take a longer game view of the different pillars of your life. I'm finding that with every year, I improve in understanding these concepts. I optimize my calendar. I make better choices. I take on a more a better approach to how many commitments I put on my calendar. And certainly when I do plan my calendar in alignment with my seasons, I start with the pillars that matter the most to me. I start with putting those periods of rest and family time and things that matter to my husband, things that matter to my kids, things that matter to me. I build the rest of my work life around that. And then I hire the support systems necessary to be able to execute that. But it comes with first awareness, trying, experimenting, optimizing, learning from my mistakes, and knowing the human condition. And having clarity, more and more clarity every year as to what my role is on this earth as a mother, as a professional, as a partner, as a friend, as a community member. These are all things that I put efforts in getting clarity about. And the more I do that, the better I become at it. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are listening live, I encourage you to join us next week. We're having our last masterclass of 2023. I have a number of guest speakers who are going to be talking about designing your long game as a working mom. So we have 2 engineers. We also have our in-house wealth planner who will be coming to help us debunk some myths and build your wealth plan for the long term, starting with mindset. That's critical. And we'll have a couple more case studies of women who are doing this. So I'm having 5 guest speakers in our last masterclass. I hope that you will register. There's information in our Facebook group. You can go to tinyurl.com/STEM mom, and you will find the information about registering for this masterclass. Have a great day, everyone, and see you next time.